Impossible. Unreachable. Classical.
What's gay and happening this week? Amy and I went upstate to the Wool and Sheep Festival.
I love sheep.
Do you know about it?
No.
Originally, we were going to go to Tompkins Square Park Halloween dog parade, which she says every year she wants to do, but then we always miss it. So I made her put it on the calendar, and then we saw that the Sheep and Wool Festival is happening. She's like, sheepies or puppies? Sheepies or puppies?
Sheepies.
Yeah,
so much rarer, and they're so gentle, right? They're like, ah.
We saw a lot of sheepies. Llamas, goats. Because we went to this other farm because they didn't have apple cider and cider donuts at the Wool Festival, which I was like, you'd make a killing. But anyway.
With apple cider donuts?
Yeah, at the Sheep Festival. Yeah, like they just...
Sheep and apple cider donuts?
I mean, right? Like all the autumnal. Anyway, yeah, just like on a fairgrounds and stalls of vendors of yarn and bunnies, the Angora bunnies. You can buy an Angora bunny for $300.
So much fur.
You have to brush them every day. Amy walked me through it. She was like, and then it becomes your whole life. Because she fantasizes about that sometimes.
I mean, that's kind of like
maybe that could be my whole life.
That's like my Pomeranian fantasy. Like you have to keep
you
them.
You have
to keep their eyes clean of that nasty. I'm not having a light colored ass dog, and it be tearing, nasty. People don't take care of that shit. But then of course if you want Miss Thing like poofy and puffy and cute and looking like a goofy.
This poof.
Goofy cloud. Exactly. Literally, this is Pomeranian. That's what Pomeranian looks like.
Yeah.
And you gotta brush that thing as often as you can.
Yeah. Yeah. So there were Angora bunnies who were not happy about being around that many people. I love
sheep.
Sheep. We saw so many different kinds of sheep. There was like they go in through and they announce every kind of sheep and where their breed's from. And it was more like a show, just like, and now. I don't know if they were actually competing for anything. Because you're just like this the whole time.
Because there's so many sheep.
Yeah, there's so much to do. So much to see. Yeah. You can see them getting sheared. Amy came away with a vest and a hood that's just sheep, and it smells like sheep. It's like it's the wool.
A little gross. It's not clean, or is it?
No,
just
it's
smells
clean,
like
but
an animal.
it's. I don't. You'll have to come over and smell it. It's not gonna lose it anytime soon. But like, she went into the office wearing that, and people were like,
why does it smell like farm?
Where'd you get this shit?
It's a dramatic look.
And she's like, yeah, it's a fit. I got it at the Sheep and Wool Festival because I'm a fiber arts girly.
She got it right off the Miss Thing. She got it right off the sheet.
She got right off the lamp. She's just like,
because it comes off in like one piece. I literally just watched a video in the last day or two on a sheep getting sheared just because.
You need I
love sheep. Like
we should call it.
My ex is from like the north of England, and literally when I went there, it's so quiet except for like the hundreds of sheep just kind of like like literally like across the.
It becomes pretty very ambient.
It's like a lulling, like calming sound of just like 50.
Really nice.
I took a video of it. I posted on Facebook like back in 2014. I can't find it because literally it's some kind of a very soothing sound. Yeah.
One of my favorite moments of the day, actually, we were walking through the stalls and there's all these people and someone was walking a lamb through and the lamb went right up into Amy's face. You know how their eyes can be kind of, maybe it was more like a goat. Maybe it was a goat.
Was it, hair or was it?
Seemed taller.
Or was it that like kind of like, was it fur like flat?
I just remember the face. It was like Emperor fucking Cusco. And he gets up in her face, or, the llama on that. And then, and goes, bah! And everyone laughed because it was so direct. And it was just like, bah! So we've been doing that a little bit in the house.
To each other? You and Amy?
It's funny.
Yeah.
Bah! I don't know.
Like the ghost, like, ah! Like the ghost. What's
it could happen to you on the streets in New York. You know what I mean? Like
running into a goat that could scream.
No, just running into a human that could do that in your face and then move on. Do you know what I mean?
Like, there's literally a meme.
Have you encountered this?
There's a meme that's like, this is how you know who's from and who's not from New York.
What?
And then the girl turns, she's like on the street, she's like, ah! And she's like, if you looked,
Yeah, you're
you're
not
from New York. It's one of my favorite things. And she just like, she lets out this like nasty ass sound and like, ew, who cares? Like,
Yeah. Why you don't get my attention right now? No, I'm busy. I got places to be. Like,
I have an important question to ask you.
what?
What's gay about sheep?
What's gay about sheep? I mean, the people that are into their wool are pretty gay.
I mean, guilty!
I mean, the crowd. I mean, I was just so many lesbians.
I was just complaining about how much I loved my tartan wool cloak. But okay, lesbians.
You do love the wool.
What do lesbians do with wool?
I mean, they're knitters, they're crafters, they're blah, blah, blah. The
Natural fiberists.
Yeah, this place celebrated old ladies and everything about them and wanting to be like them. AOC was there, and she had the cutest sweater on. AOC was at the festival.
A lesbian festival?
It wasn't.
Oh,
no, the sheep
festival.
and wool.
Oh, sheep. Okay, we're still. Okay.
I mean, you could call it that. You could bill it that.
Was it really that?
There was a lot. Yeah. Not everyone. Listen. It was an open space.
What's it about?
It's just the
bush? The furry bush of it all?
Just like go hard into like, you know, female coded things and do it with pride and precision, I think is a little.
Shearing?
I mean, quilting.
Okay.
You know? It's a little bit like that.
Granny
arts. Oh, that's one of my favorite tattoos. Amy has this granny in a rocking chair quilting tattoo. It's great. I love that one.
I've looked through a lot of this. So this is making that face.
Just being a granny.
Being a fiber artist.
Yes, fiber artist. You're a fiber artist.
I guess so.
You're an artist with
not lately, but I would love to. Yeah. Isn't there like a piece called the like the shepherd's hay or like may the sheep?
You're talking about a classical piece?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of pastoral.
Okay.
That's a
obviously,
genre.
Obviously,
pastoral. You
okay.
know?
Well, so what is that?
And was
the
Beethoven the
3?
best at it? 6.
No, it's not 6. Thank you. Beethoven 6. Obviously, I used to be the academic one. In school. No, in school. But I used to be. But I'm over that. But you still have retained a lot of things.
I had an orchestra job, so knowing that corner of the repertoire was my thing.
Yeah.
I really loved the big stuff.
But wait, what pastoral pieces do you think of?
Well, there's Movement again. Symphonie Fantastique has a really good one.
How would
I think even the slow movement of Beethoven 9 kind of gives that.
Mm-hmm.
Shepherds are biblical.
Shepherds. Why?
I heard that term at the Sheep and Wool Festival, and I was like,
shepherds are biblical?
What? Because I hadn't thought, the Good Shepherd. Do you know who the Good Shepherd is? You do.
From the Bible? No.
Jesus.
Oh.
They call him the Good Shepherd.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, your Jesus looks different than Catholic Jesus. Or Mormon Jesus looks different than Catholic Jesus.
Lamb over his shoulders, and he's got the cane.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I just have never heard that term.
The Good Shepherd.
In Catholic school, I never heard that term.
There are some differences, unbeknownst to me when I got to college.
Yeah, Mormon Jesus has the short hair. He's the cut off, right? Straight, not a bob, but it's a short.
He's really buff. He's really buff. So my mom kind of, she'd talk and she'd just, no, that's what he would look like. And
oh my God.
Mother.
Oh, that's not the Good Shepherd.
Yeah. You don't want to be great. You want to be good. Good boy.
Have you ever had to make a sheep sound
No, I haven't, but that sounds like a fun assignment. It seems like it's too high, though. The violin is very high.
You could do a little research. I don't know. I don't know what their range is. I don't know the tessitura of a...
Make that effects pedal.
Of a sheep.
You can sound like a sheep no matter what you put in. I'm going to work on that.
Section violinist in a orchestra choir. Sheep.
Well, you already said Mariah Carey calls her fans sheep. So does Jesus.
And so from my experience on tour, I was on Fun Home for 14 months.
Okay.
And we traveled 5 musicians, but we didn't travel the violinist, doubles on viola, and a cellist. And so I've sat with about 40 sets of violoncellists.
Wow.
And some of them,
What was that like for you?
some of them was, a little rough. And like in some of like the bigger cities that you would think had be really strong orchestrally or just like playing wise,
Yeah.
I think those string players aren't soloists because they are used to being sheep in the herd of a large orchestra choir. Or or just like a large section of, and so you can hide. You can hide. But this one right here, Miss JD, doesn't hide in an orchestra.
Not anymore. I did. And I did feel like I was hiding. Yeah.
And I don't think
And people who saw me, when you can see someone, and they were like, what are you doing? And I went, shh. That was the vibe. It was just like, I know.
No, play out, Louise. I want it. Give it to me. Give me the feeling.
I know.
But
I've shied away from a lot of it. But it's also it's also from an interest in that repertoire.
You're naturally like a bigger player, though, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, like you weren't meant to like be in like a section.
True.
And maybe that's just like, at the end of the day.
But being at the top of a section involves like holding a lot of politics. You have to have a personality that knows how to be demure. And I'm not demure.
Leader.
Being brat is more me. I'm brat, not demure.
Okay.
First of all. How about you? I mean, I know that's like so last year or whatever, but it was funny. It became a relevant way of talking to like my cousin's kids at one point. Anyway. So yeah, being demure more than brat is, I think, more successful, especially in the traditional orchestras. When I got to the rock orchestra, that was not the case. It was all about being brat.
So you can never be the sheep. You're the shepherd.
I'm the shepherd, baby. Shepherd.
Yeah, okay.
I love every time Nikki does that. She's incredible.
Yeah, you were never meant to be a sheep. You were meant to be the...
Oh,
but the
girl.
orchestra, at least from like a concert master's standpoint, or even first, second, like you can't quite be that leader. Like
exactly.
the conductor
There's
is
a
obviously
style
like
of leader that's going to be successful in it, and I learned that very quickly because it was like I would go out for like principal second or something, and it was just the vibe was like every other musician being like, no way, and the conductor being like, yes, and they're like, no way. And I'm just telling you that a vibe, and then you just pick up on it, and you're like, okay.
There's just so much range for because you can have a career like hiding as a violinist.
Yeah. Kind of felt like I didn't know exactly what I wanted, so I didn't really want to get involved in the like, I'm a cut a bitch, that person that's like, I'm gonna do what I need to do to get to where I'm going, and a lot of people will just kind of push through that way. And I thought, if I don't know what I want, then why do all that harm? Like, why get all up in it? You know what I mean? Like, why get all up in it if I'm like, I don't think I care about this actually.
If you don't at least hate it, just like you don't need to like diss it, I guess, or just like provide another option.
Right, be the leader, but be the leader of what? Of what?
We're all just, I mean, as a side person in an orchestra
and there's
or a band.
So many different styles.
We're all just, we're cogs. We're just cogs.
We all have to be cogs in our life, and we all need to be leaders in our life at some point in some capacity. It's finding the balance and like where to put it. I think about that all the time. I've been, as I've been trying to allow myself to grow in new ways that challenge ideas about who I think I am. Yeah, there's a lot to that one. There is a queer jazz band that was playing at Henrietta Hudson.
Which is very much like a minority situation thing. Like
that's the thing. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, minority, or even just being a woman in jazz. Being a woman in jazz,
yeah,
and being queer in jazz is definitely very like
What happens? What are the ways that the acute ways that you experience it? The minorityness in those.
It's just like relatability on certain topics, right? It's like it's well. First of all, like funny. I can be talking to a jazz musician. And generally, I don't really, unless maybe we're talking about gear, I'm not like talking about jazz. I don't know how to talk about jazz, performers. I mean, I have a few that I've like listened to definitely, but maybe not quite the repertoire that, because I'm obsessed over.
Yeah, it's like showing that you belong in those circles.
Yeah, it's right. Exactly right.
It's a little performance to demonstrate your the claim that you have on the space.
Yeah.
I remember when I was on a Latin tour and I went and read chamber music with some people in Cleveland. Really great players. Our cellist was awesome, and I think her husband was in the Cleveland Orchestra. And so we read chamber music together. And it had been a while because I'd been on a Latin tour. And immediately when I got there, they were like, don't talk about where you went to school. That's like, we don't do that here. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then, but when I was back in this classical space, it was like, who do you know? Where did you play? Who have you studied with? Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
You know, and it was like all this stuff that I could like do. And then I remember after I left, I was like, like I didn't, like having those conversations just felt like
Same usual one. Yeah, well, I guess that's like
it was weird. I wasn't used to having them anymore, and I didn't really want to. I
kind of forgot about that too. Honestly, it's like
yeah.
it's like in New York, like you're like, oh, usually the kind of quote you go to is like, oh, what part of town do you live? Which is like not you don't necessarily ask that. Maybe in LA you do, but for classical music, it's like, hey, where do you go to school? At least like when you were in school, you're like, where are you going or who are you studying with?
Yeah.
Right? I think that's usually the
you have to place people in time and space. And then I feel like you age out of that though.
Yeah. And I feel like
level.
at this point, like after you're out of school, like if you mention where you went to school at least like once, like whatever. It's not that serious. Did you really get told like we don't do that?
I did get told by like multiple people on that gig that they did not like that.
On
even when I would do it with like local violinists in a very, normal violinist way. I got notes. We got notes on that tour. We got a lot of
from the MD?
Assistant, yeah.
Oh,
and keyboard player, and just whoever was like touchy about it. And I think that's what it's about. Like, if you don't feel like you went to an elite school and you didn't feel like you had access to it, then of course it's gonna like that's the point of the system. It's to make somebody feel.
Well, I mean, like when I was in school, I definitely felt like a little jealous, and like when I wasn't going to like those bigger schools. But after school, I'm like, doesn't mean y'all are working. But also like, I don't know. I've just like kind of grown in my own like I've grown confidence in myself as a player that I'm just like I don't care. Like I like hearing I get excited when I get the chance to play with musicians that are from at least there's good schools, yeah. Because then I'm like, yay, because I don't always get to work with really good people.
Yeah. Well, what you said about tour.
And so that kind of makes me like the odd sheep out of the jazz scene.
Do you feel like the black sheep of?
Is that right? Yeah, I wanted to say
something pure.
Sometimes I do feel like the black sheep. It's a big gay black sheep. It's okay. Yeah.
No, I can relate to that. For sure.
So violins are sheep, but I feel like the black sheep.
What?
In like orchestras in general.
Yeah.
Like orchestras are like surprisingly unqueer, or like classical music. Like there is definitely like plenty of men, plenty of everyone's. That are gay out there and definitely do classical music. But as like a culture, I think like classical music tends to be very unqueer. Like,
how do we unpack that? Why is it like that?
I'm trying to think
and who defends it. Okay.
Is it the patriarchy?
Of course, everything's patriarchy.
Is it always the white straight man?
Yeah. Well, and that's something Jinx says, where she's like, it all comes down to like the worst thing that can happen is for somebody to call you gay, and they're doing everything they can to avoid somebody calling them gay, which I can't relate to exactly experientially, trans that I am, but I do. So I look at it a little differently. I don't know. In my orchestra job, the orchestra job I had for like 7 years, there was one elderly gay man in the viola section who was quite beloved, very formal, really into pies. He made a lot of pies. Pie Day was celebrated at the orchestra because of him.
That's amazing.
didn't see eye to eye in that generationally queer way, you know, where it's like the way that you're doing this is not the way we did it, you know.
This is the way he
Have
would
you ever
treat
gotten that from your queer elders? Do you have queer elders?
Maybe not. I mean, I know, I suppose I know some, but I'm not that like boisterous of a personality, like, or I don't necessarily like take up space like that, especially around like old people. I don't know, because I know, like, you know, I know that I take up space, and so I kind of just, you know, just like kind of like me, like this. Just kinda, hey guys, hey sir, hi. Well,
Really?
No. I mean, I don't
Were
know.
you that way in the locker room?
My grandfather was kind of like a hardy man, so like I would have to like give him like a hefty handshake. He would give a really solid handshake, and so you know like.
What's the patriarchy like for you?
I'm like only like a half a bloodline away from being the patriarchy. I'm only.
Aren't we all?
So like, or whatever the term is, half a gene pool away.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, what's it like for you? I don't. It's changed for me, right? When I was growing up a Mormon girl, I experienced patriarchy really differently than I do now. Living in New York City, you know, presenting masculine. Like my experience of it has shifted wildly.
I will give the fact, so, you know, obviously having started on the flute and being around a lot of flute players, I think that is a slight exception of how queer, like, orchestra could have been. I feel like I've gotten orchestra at its most queer.
Because of the instrument you chose.
Yeah, usually it's, like, a lot of flute girls. That's, like, 50, 60%. And then, like, it's, like 40, 35% gay guys. And then, like, this, like, really odd, like, 15, 20% of, like, really weird straight dudes.
Really weird.
Yeah, I don't know. All like the straight
Flute players
that I've ever met have just been like, okay. I don't know how, I just like don't know how to describe it. Very nice, but just like a little odd. Yeah, and I mean a lot of them work around. I mean not that I've met all of the big flute players that are straight men flute players that are working out there, but
The Utah Symphony had one when I was growing up. Apparently straight. Was quite a peacock of a personality, though. I remember attending a rehearsal and witnessing him, like, giving trouble to the conductor. You know what I mean? Like, making their job difficult. I don't remember specifically how, but just, you know, interrupting, asking really, like, loaded questions. You know, just, like, you know, that. I got really tired of that in an orchestra job.
I feel like being queer in like the brass section would be a little harder.
Probably.
Then I feel like the strings, I don't know, and percussion maybe, but I feel like the strings, like it's kind of because you know
It's a given.
Like, it's a lot of people that it's just gonna be a lot. There's a lot of different kind of personalities as a string player, so there must you might.
I don't think there are any other homos in my section.
You think there's an 11% in the string section? 11% gay population in every string section? You think it's pretty low?
In my experience, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I've never actually thought of it. Yeah, it makes sense. So I got probably like one of the more queer experiences where you got the median, versus being in like the brass section.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. In classical music is very self-selecting sometimes. A certain kind of kid gets into it. What's queer about classical music? Well, it's why they made chamber queer. Those kids are doing it.
When it comes to like jazz, I kind of find that to be very like I would want to call that very masculine kind of music, especially just like free range because it's all just like yeah. No, yeah, literally. No, I've thought it like even like certain kind of improvising is very masturbatory. Definitely.
Oh yeah. And that's a widely held.
But no. And then like of course, then when you respond into, you're like,
yeah, what's the right amount to show off?
No.
You know what that reminds me of? When David Bowie died, there were tons and tons of David Bowie themed parties, and it was my birthday month, right? So loved that. And we ended up going to one in Central Square, and there was sort of a stage. It was a venue that had a kind of stage, but everyone was dancing all over, and And there were all of these older guys like on stage dancing as though they were David Bowie. I mean, it's like how they were expressing their love. You know, it was like this public display of Bowie love. And I remember these older women looking at Amy and I and being like, can you please get up there? I don't want to look at that anymore. It was so funny.
Can we do something about this?
Please, I'd much rather look at you, you know? And I was just trying to grasp it. I mean, it was the first time that I saw images of Bowie. Like there was a screen playing all these videos of him. And I really was not aware of David Bowie until he died. And then like truly aware. Even though in high school, I was a student body officer and we had these assemblies where you would announce the next year's student body officers after the election by acting out scenes from a movie. And our year we did Zoolander. And every one of I was not friends with the student body officers necessarily, but here we were. And doing it together. And they were like, oh, you're David Bowie for sure. And I was like, now I look back at that and I'm like,
did you get the wig?
Yes, bitch. I don't know what I wore. Honestly, I can't remember. But like, what a compliment. Okay, my peers saw me. Like, I love that for me, you know? Even though I was like, I have no idea who that is. Okay, cool. I watched Zoolander, but it was so far from culturally from anything that I'd ever consumed, I didn't understand it.
Was this when you had long hair?
Oh yeah, I had really long hair in high school. It was like red, auburn red.
Like David Bowie in Labyrinth? Like, is that the hair?
Oh.
Was he in Labyrinth?
Wasn't it spiky on top? Yeah, he was in
It was like
Labyrinth,
long
for sure.
hair, but it was still like kind of
Yeah, there was,
straightened and
like-
like protruding in some way. I forget.
Yeah, it was kind of, that's an interesting, that'd be a fun wig. I gotta get some wigs on this show. Just us showing up with wigs.
I would that's what Katja's doing is.
Oh, I know, I love those wigs.
One of the most memorable things was this party that I ended up on Fire Island like a few summers ago.
Okay.
And we went to this random party and there was a box of frocks and a box of wigs and a box, like a table of costume jewelry.
Yeah.
And you just like pick what you want, create a fantasy, and like the way we were just like, people was just like, you know, I live in the fantasy in that drag. No makeup, of course, but it was such a fun, and so like, I love the idea of
That
having
is what's really fun
wig,
about a gay party.
a wig party.
Yeah.
Just a box of wigs, and I would start with just that, get like 10, 20 wigs, start collecting them over the years, and just put them on people and see what they do.
I have a few, and I actually bought one of those heads to like put wigs on, and like, cause I was like setting it. I did light drag therapy at home. Did I ever tell you about that? Drag therapy. That's what I would call it. Yeah. Well, I went home and I had planned this family party. I don't know what got into me, but I made it as gay as possible, which is hard to do. You know, it's hard when you go home to your like, we don't acknowledge gay, you know, like family.
Yeah.
And they're like, nope, I'm going to be gay. Because the challenge, I think it was probably in therapy at the time, it was like, how do you bring more of yourself into spaces where you have always felt like, shut it up, you know? And so...
Smoke some weed.
I didn't learn to do that around there until much later. But it was the early years of coming out. Those were hard. Those were rough. Those were rough and tumble, okay? A lot of relationships were...
A lot of feelings.
Very
a lot of angst.
ruffled. But I threw this family party and I made invitations that were like the Wizard of Oz. And I...
Gay!
Yeah! And I made it so my sister and I did Sisters from White Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I bought the fans. I have the ostrich feather fans. I got dresses on Amazon. Hers didn't fit her, and I adjusted it. I like added dress, and it worked. It zipped. I was like, oh my God. So I adjusted the dresses. I brought an extra suitcase of props. We had heels, we had wigs, we had dresses, we had accessories. We had fans. And then I spent a couple of days just trying to teach her the dance. But I learned my sister cannot walk in heels. She can't do it. She kept falling. And I was like the gay brother in the basement being like, 5, 6, 7, 8. Come on, you got it, girl. Let's try. Nope, let's do it again. Oh, God, you know. And then...
They're like, bless your heart.
Bless your heart.
Your heart.
Don't know how to do this. Okay. And then, so then I ended up redoing the choreography. So she just stood there and I danced around her. and we did it for the rest of the family.
The performance.
We performed it for the rest of the family.
You did a little tour through your house?
No. Well, I'll show you the video. Maybe we'll put a little video on here. Ooh, do you want that? It's good. I'm very proud of it, honestly, because it made my parents laugh so hard.
Okay.
You can hear it in the background of the video. And they made us do it again. They made us do an encore because they thought it was so funny. And a lot of that was very intentional. Like, she wore the dress and I stayed home. I don't wear dresses, okay, except when I'm doing drag. And Melinda was living with my parents at the time, which they were kind of shamey about, right? That she's still living with them, right, as an adult. And so that's so it's like you could point to it, but you're doing it in such a ridiculous way that it was like cathartic, you know? And it was very memorable. My other sister was watching and she just kept a stone face the whole time. She's a social worker. And so she is really good at not reacting because you see everything, you know? When you're a social worker, you go into messy people's lives. That's the only reason you're there is because it's a mess and they got to get somebody else to like clean it up, right? So she did not respond. Her face didn't move the whole time. It was kind of impressive. And then she was just like, "You're weird." After
She was on
when we were children, we would put on little things, you know, with little shows. Because my mom's brother his business was to do singing and dancing in costumes with children, like, and they would perform in malls and venues around Utah, high schools. So yeah, there's a lot of theater in Utah for sure. Theater is very important to Utah culture. So you have to learn how to queer the thing. The queer is always there because camp makes it that way.
But conservatism keeps, I mean, classical, right? At the core, classical music is kind of the conservative.
It's conservative, yeah.
It's celebrating the olds.
The traditions.
The olds.
How dare you mess with that?
Right. It's just a tradition. It's sticking to an old tradition.
And I'm just so deeply subversive. I don't think I can really. I didn't feel pure enough, and I think purity is a myth. To be honest, hot take. I think that's a total myth. I don't think anything is pure. Nothing. And I was pure. Okay. I was pure. I know what pure is.
Sheep and pure?
And purity. Pure white.
Purity?
Pure white as the sheep's wool. Pure white as the snow. I grew up with these metaphors. Absolutely. Going to the temple? Pure white.
Purity. You want to unload purity?
You said it. Classical. The old.
Well,
okay. Talk to me about it with your sewing, historical sewing.
Pure?
You are very specific about the era,
sure,
right? And you have to kind of hold that this style didn't appear until the 1830s. So that's not technically, it doesn't fit into this category. So I felt that way. I felt that I didn't honor that in the correct way, and especially when I auditioned in Europe.
That sounds like
I auditioned
baggage.
at Concertgebouw, and they looked at me like, who thinks they can get away with playing Mozart like that? Like, it was a little that energy.
Well, Europeans are like that with your Americans.
I have an American accent. As a violinist, I went abroad. You know, I had a couple of experiences where I was like, oh God, yeah, I'm an American violinist in a big way. Because I think they're that much more pure about like the styles.
Yeah, Americans don't
usually
win the like the big like Kobe flute competition.
Probably not, yeah.
Or like they rarely do. Or like there's a lot of European competitions that are like, and I think one of my like an old teacher or like a masterclass teacher was like, they complimented me. They're like, "Oh, you don't sound like an American," as a flute player. And like, I mean, I get it. Like they do their own thing there, like whatever. And then I think that's kind of what I'm like.
I know.
That tradition's really intense. Like I understand.
I didn't have the courage to live outside of the United States and like live in the expat space of like holding everyone's like, ugh, America.
Just tradition. You know? It's all tradition.
Ugh, Americans. You know, and I'm like,
well,
ew.
But also, I think there's like
picture me in a bonnet, babe. I am. You know.
You put you in a covered wagon, send you down the Oregon Trail, and be like, "Oh, America."
Yeah, eat my stew, wrap in my quilt. I am.
We know about your biscuits. We've had JD's chicken dumpling biscuits. So my snack for you today.
Snack. What is it? Is it sushi?
I love just like really portable food because, you know, as a gig person in New York City, on the go,
We're on the
constantly, I'm on the go.
Throw it in the bag.
I gotta go to the gym somewhere.
Make it work.
I gotta eat some. I really like finger foods. I like just like because I gotta go. Yeah, I'm like the most American thing about me, I think, is how shameless I am about eating and walking in public.
That's an American thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or at least, or like in comparison, like in Japan, like
What does it
you
mean?
definitely have to like stand on at least on the side of the road and like eat.
Or what? What's the
It's
consequence?
just like a cultural,
Sure.
social, like
Everyone just does it.
specificity. Like,
But if you were to break the code,
I would be just like walking and eating nilly willy. But probably Americans that go to Japan nowadays,
they probably do it all the time.
they still do that anyway.
We can't help it. We're moving. We have places to be. We can't stop.
As a busy ass,
Can't
New
stop
York,
and breathe and take it now.
I'm so busy as a New Yorker. How many times do I have to tell you? I got a lot of instruments. I got a lot of gigs. Okay.
Okay, what is it?
Bibimbap.
Bibimbap.
So bulgogi bibimbap. Ooh, look at that.
Actually, I saw this at my like deli grocery store this week, and I was like,
Fresh or frozen?
fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's Korean run. Or at least I think so. I believe it's Korean run, but they've really upped their Korean content.
So veggies, a little bit of egg, pickled radish, cucumber, and beef.
But you don't do like a soy dip. You're on the go.
Yeah,
You don't have time.
I don't have time for that.
I don't have time for that.
And that's more if I'm doing like a Japanese leaning thing.
I do a little squirt.
I mean, you could do that.
Squirt.
But I
Do
just
you do
like
that with ketchup? Do you ever dip your fries in the ketchup packet?
hundo. Oh, well, actually, I've never actually in the packet. I see how practical that is, and I would do that.
It doesn't get quite the scoop though. Are we cheersing?
Cheers.
Okay, cute. Ooh, big bite. That's really good.
Well, why? Usually, I'm craving like the Japanese like rice balls, just like the triangular onigiri with chicken. Usually, I need protein, obviously.
I have never imagined beef sushi before. That is really fucking with me right now.
Because I guess I think of this. I guess I think of this as like.
Wait, what were you saying?
I guess I think of this as
No, I know what you said.
I guess I think of this as not sushi. I mean, like obviously.
Yeah, it's more
the
like
same.
it's like a rice bowl bite.
Yeah,
It's a rice bowl bite.
that's kind of yeah. That's how I think of it.
I don't have time to stop and eat the whole damn bowl. I just need a bite of it. And then I keep going. Get another bite of it. All right. Well, she ain't slow cooking, I'll tell you that much.
There's a lot of ingredients to prepare here. Cheers.